Welcome, mercenaries. It's Osama. Welcome back to the Syndicate. Today in this episode, we're going to cover pistol suppressors and the different types of pistol suppressors that are here on the market, out here in the black market on the streets out here. So, not to waste any time, let's dive on into it. So, for pistol suppressors, there are pros and cons to each type of why you should figure why should you go with a one does all versus a dedicated, just trying to figure out which way is the best way for some of our first time suppressor purchasers and some of our experienced purchasers. So we're going to get into it first of all is debating on why would you like to go with a dedicated suppressor over a one does all, jack of all trades suppressor. So we'll just take right here, closest one right here, CGS Kraken 9mm suppressor. So you say, okay, Osama, I want to shoot 9mm. Well, here you go, 9mm can. And the only thing that you'll be able to do is shoot 9mm and under. So 9x19 Luger, Parabellum, whatever suffix you want to give onto it. 9mm Makarov, which is 9x18. Also, can't forget about 380, which is 9mm short here in America. I don't think you can shoot 22 through here, but I want to say you can because this is a user serviceable can. So that's probably what I say is the good and the bad goes from there. You can't shoot nothing higher than 9mm. Now, I want to say that with this one, I doubt you can shoot subsonic 300 blackout. Don't have the specs right now on the top of my head or right here in front of me, just going off the top of the head. So now you'll say, okay, Osama, why would I want to go with the dual suppressor? All right, good question. So let me take you to what I would call a dual suppressor, Rugged Obsidian 45. And you'll say, okay, why would I want to go with a 45 if I have a 9? Great question. So more flexibility with the 45 can over the 9. So I can shoot 45, 10 mil, 40 Smith, 9 mil, 9 mil Makarov, 380, 22. And this is rated for 300 blackout subs. And I want to say it's only in the full length, which is a symbol here, but don't quote me on that. I'll probably have it listed down in the in the info section. So, like I say, cover more bases with the 45 than you can with the 9. Remember, I just also said that this was a user serviceable. This is user serviceable also. And what I mean by that is that there are K baffles in here, or I should say like K baffles in here, Orion baffles here in the CGS Kraken 9, excuse me. So basically, an added con about these cans is that they're user serviceable is that you can clean them. Okay, so now what's the pros and cons of a user serviceable can? All right, user serviceable means that I can take this apart, clean it out, get the gunk out, or if I shot 22, the built up lead from 22 LR, and clean it out, put it back together, shoots like it was brand new again, somewhat. So I'll just use this one for another example. Right here, this can is also modular. So you say, well, what does that mean? Modular. All right. So this little section right here, which I believe Rugged calls the adapt module, I think is the same as their Rugged Surge 30 cal can. Great can, by the way. Is that if I want to, I can take this top part off. All right, bam. Now what I do, this little top cap here, end cap. Another thing about this crazy system is, and I'll probably show you when I put it back together. Cap. So now if I wanted a shorter package, like shorter footprint, I have accomplished that now by removing an extra 4 baffles that were in here. And now I shortened the can. So now look, isn't that great? So look at that. Isn't that great? Now, check this out. Baffles. Clip together baffle assembly. So they all line up. As you can probably see through there, the protruding gap right down here at the bottom. So there's no way that you can put these on wrong. They click together. That's why it's called CTA, click together assembly baffles. All right, we'll just have that there for the time being. Now we'll show you see that? Bam. Click together assembly. So you have your blast baffle here at the top, which is noted by, see if I can get it off, probably might not, probably stuck on there, but this one has the number 1 engraved on here, so you know this will always be the first on the top of the stack. And I say, you hear that click? Click right on in. So, Orion baffles here do the same thing. I'm not going to go through it. I don't think I have the tool on me right now. But since I already have that stripped down, I'll show you this neat trick. Now, side note here, one of the founders of Rugged Suppressor, Michael Derziak, used to work for Silencer Co. So you want to know what good thing is about this piston here? This piston can actually go, and I'm just going to jump ahead just so I can show you. Silencer Co. Osprey can. This piston is compatible for Silencer Co. products. This piston here from Rugged, and I want to say the piston from Dead Air. Mike Pappas, Dead Air, funny guy. Look at me, already making a mess. But funny guy. Great guy to talk to, very knowledgeable. I want to say the Ghost pistol suppressor, the Ghost 45 piston, I want to say is also compatible with the 45 octane and Osprey cans. So let me show you this neat trick here. So with the piston Nielsen device, or should I say this is the Nielsen device along with the spring here and the capture. So what this does is, and I can just go ahead and put this back together. I'll say bam. Still got my baffles in here. Now watch this. So you can say somewhat of a toolless, put this piston in here. Look at that. Spins it right on in. What an ingenious idea here from the guys at Rugged. Now we're going back to long boy, back to the long boy here. And usually what they say is to keep it from locking up on this O-ring and thread, dropping a little lubricating oil here so it won't lock up. Bam. Now, top it off. I'm gonna go here. Right here on top. Okay. A few more little twists here. A few revolutions and lock. As of right now. Locked in. And like I said, this can is back and operable. condition. Like I say, with the baffles, they only go in one way. Once they all are locked in together, the sleeve slides right on. Put your adapt module to capture your last 4 baffles. So this has a total of, I want to say, 12 baffles. Pretty good for this size. 8.6-inch length in the full size. 6.8 or 6.9 in the short configuration. So this gives you a little bit more adjustability, a little bit more, should I say, versatility when it comes to this here. If I want maximum suppression, run it long. I want somewhat good suppression, but not as loud, but not as quiet. I'll just drop off the module here and just run it short. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. So these have the Orion baffles, which come out too, which are like a click together assembly also. Don't have the tool right now to get that cap off, so I won't go through it. So there you go. Modular can. Also, don't have them with me now. I didn't think nothing about it. But you can also take that spring out and put a fixed barrel adapter in there. So if I want to mount it to something like a CZ Scorpion, Kel-Tec Sub 2000, anything where there's a fixed barrel in place, put that fixed barrel spacer on, because I don't have to worry about any helping of the unlocking of the system due to like shooting like a pistol, like a tilt breech, like a Glock, Smith & Wesson M&P, anything with a tilt barrel design. Don't have to worry about that with the fixed barrel spacer, because the barrel doesn't need to help eject, because it's a fixed barrel. Also, we're going to go back to the Sizeco Osprey here. This is what I'm going to be called the funky size or different shaped can. So with this here, as you can see, this funky little hexagonal type shape, because it has 6 sides, or should I say maybe octagon. Hell, I can't count. But this thing here, real nice. And then what they say is when Sizeco developed this can in this shape here, that with this extra length of volume here at the bottom, it gained an extra internal volume of about 30%. So extra air to help cool the gases off, to give you a lower decibel reduction, or should I say a higher decibel reduction, but lower decibel reading when you're running it on like a B&K, a Brüel & Kjær decibel meter. So this thing here is also 300 blackout sub friendly. You can run those in here, and only subs. Only subs. Supers will blow this thing up. Also, this is not a user serviceable can here. This is a mono core, which basically in between each one of these is a space, 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 and when the bullet passes through, the gases go through each chamber right in here and cools the gases down before it escapes the muzzle here. So this is Sizeco's most popular, or should I say their highest selling can, I want to say to date. This here, this Osprey. And I want to say it could be just the Osprey series that probably took them off to a different echelon. Because after this, I want to say came the Octane, which is like your regular traditional round suppressor. So, like I said, this was the game changer when it came out. I want to say this is Sizeco's most sought after or purchased pistol suppressor that they've made. I want to say this is about 8 point some inches in length, maybe about 8.3 inches in length. Don't quote me on that, don't have a ruler. I have one, but I left it upstairs. Also, this says this 45, so I could mount 40, 10 mil, 357 SIG. Hell, if you even find a threaded revolver these days, you might be able to shoot 357 Magnum, but don't quote me on those pressures. But maybe 38 Special for sure. But any Magnum type of charge, I would probably highly doubt that. So excuse me, just stay with 357 SIG. Awesome can. I have this FDE color to go with a FNX 45 Tactical. Whenever I secure some funds to get one, I have so many irons in the fire. It's kind of hard to save money to the side for some of these toys. Like I say, it was harder for me to get the can, so while I was playing the waiting game, shot on different hosts, but it was designed to go on the FNX 45 Tactical to match with the FDE, but I haven't gotten that far yet, so you have to excuse me with that. So that covers traditional round can with modular length. All of them are modular in mounting devices, as all can be used with a 3-lug. For anybody using the HK MP5 or PTR clone or Century AP5, MP5 clone, you know, 3-lug mount will work. Anybody running a BNT, GHM9 or APC Pro, any of these will work for you. Any of these will work. Now, for the last one I'm going to do is what I would call a subgun suppressor. So what we have here is a Bowers Group Verse 45. So if you've seen this before, well, you probably don't notice it because I have this Grip-tastic Nomex grip sleeve on here, which actually came with the can when I bought it. This can here, like I said, with the keyword in the name Verse, supposed to have versatility in this can. So basically right here, is if you could probably see that little hex right here, is your VersaDap. So if I had a wrench right now with the size, I'd be able to screw it and take it out, but I don't. So basically, this is your mounting device here. So remember I said this is a subgun can. So this is something to be used on, primarily, this is used on my M10 submachine gun. Something that I do have right here so I can show you how it mounts up. And basically, if I have the 9mm upper, I swap them out, and I swap out this VersaDap here and put the 9mm thread pitch. So when I screw on, because remember, the Mac has coarse threads on here. So these are coarse thread adapters. And I want to say you can mount this on a Uzi also. Anything that has a coarse thread, maybe some fine thread guns, but this is more of your pistol caliber carbine or subgun suppressor. Very big, as you can see, very much bigger than the Rugged, Osprey, and the Kraken 9. So I want to say this is probably maybe about a 10-inch can. If I had to say, this is 8.6. So this is probably about a 10-inch can. Like I said, this has a lot of volume. I don't know if you could probably see through that little tube there, but a lot of volume in here. And like I said, when I shoot the M10 submachine gun through here, very quiet. Haven't shot it with the 9 yet, but I finally figured out what my issue was. I need to get a 9mm mag catch to put in there. Once I swap my mag catch, put my magazine adapter in from the top when I take off the upper assembly, and I should be ready to run 9mm out the M10. But let's say this is not user serviceable, so this will be like this Osprey here. So these are non-user serviceable suppressors. Monocore in here as well, just as this one. So no type of cleaning going on. All thing you can do is just clean the mounts. Basically, when you run a little bit more of a higher pressure round through some of these, that usually burns and kills some of the gunk that is left in here. Because you got to think, these blast baffles in here, which is basically, once you get through here, is your blast baffle. And that is really one that takes the grunt of the beating. So that's the strongest part internally of the can as you go down out the baffle stack or monocore stack on out towards the muzzle. So for general visual purposes, I'll just mount this on here, and you can see it on the M10 since I have it right here close by, because I supposedly, I ain't gonna say supposedly, but before I got the camera going, this mount came off and it was stuck on the gun, which was kind of feverish to try to get it off and very time consuming, but luckily I was able to get it off. So now the M10 will look a little bit different since the last little short that I put up, because I put a few parts on there from Lage Manufacturing, which is a great company that makes SMG parts and uppers for M10, SWD M11-9, which is the sister of the M10. So what I have is the fat mat, and the M11 is the little thinner, longer, slimmer submachine gun, and that thing fires hell of a lot faster than this fat mat. But here she is, and as you can see here, selector switch, so it's on full, semi, full. So just so you can see that, no games around here. And just for y'all who don't know, this is an open bolt machine gun, so looks like it might be safe, but it's not. So remember, it's always safe to work with these machine guns with the bolt closed. So keep that in mind. A little funkier stop. People like to say this is a pistol, but no. It's not thin enough to be a blade, like a little cat blade or whatever they put on those AR pistols. This is actually a stock. And as you can see, I'll just take this out right here. It has holes in the back, so if you had a regular pistol, it's a no-go. Truly a no-go. So basically, see, coarse threads. Coarse threads. So see that? Send her home. She's ready to roll. Like I said, when I go there to the range, rattle in there and listen. Thing just like an assassin's tool. All you hear is, that's all you really hear is when they're doing mag dump. You know, it just goes crazy. And like I said, I don't know if you can tell, I have a new grip here. So basically, I can still use the paddle down here, but I added this thumb release. Don't have a magazine with me to show you, but trust me, it works. And I think I like it better than the old heel magazine release down here, which I still can use, but easier just to let my thumb do all the work. So, all right, mercenaries. So remember, subgun, specialty or non-cylindrical suppressor, non-user serviceable, cylindrical, user serviceable, cylindrical, user serviceable, modular in length. All right, mercenaries. Thank you for tuning in. It's Osama signing out today from the Syndicate. Everybody stay safe, stay legal, stay dangerous, stay armed, and stay prepared. Osama out.